Okay, guys, it's time for Wine, Music, and Games, episode 63. This time we've got a really nice Pinot, a fantastic classic album from our college days, and another classic game that has been republished in the last year or so. And we had to get it out, and we talked about it and re-reviewed it on the podcast. So stay tuned. How you doing, honey bunch?
I'm doing great. How are you, dear?
I'm doing fantastic. I like that color on you. That
Thank you.
really
Red?
nice.
Okay.
Well, hey, it's a nice reddish maroon thing going on. You got a nice necklace.
Thank you.
I have a beautiful wife.
God.
It's true.
Oh, wow.
Remember hey, we hope you guys are doing well. Remember to, you can sponsor the podcast by going to patreon.com/GarrettsGames, and you can listen to our audio podcast. We're on episode 812 or something at this point, over at garrettsgames.com. So let's start with the wine. What do you got, beautiful?
Well, we have a delicious Pinot Noir. It's from Orin Cellars, Slander. This is a very unique looking bottle. For one, you could see it looks like duct tape and like some tape put on it. It's a very cool look.
It is a cool look.
But we didn't buy it for the label, obviously.
No.
This was actually given to us by a friend.
Yeah,
and,
came over for dinner.
And we loved it.
Oh my goodness,
If
it was great.
you want the perfect California Pinot Noir, this is it.
Yeah,
it's from St. Helena. It's got lots of fruit. It's got the flavors you would expect from a perfect Pinot.
Definitely.
Some of that herbaceousness, that forest floor, all of the yummy, beautiful red wine that you can expect from California. If you're going to get a Pinot Noir, they tend to not be super cheap. You usually have to pay to get a good one from California.
Right.
You do have to pay a little bit. This one is about a $50 bottle,
Yeah.
but it is way worth it if you want to have a delicious Pinot. This one will not disappoint.
Yes, fantastic bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Remember that, Old World versus New World, red Burgundy in France is going to be a very different taste profile than something like California or even an Oregon Pinot. But this is a great California
And
Pinot.
Oregon does really beautiful Pinots too.
Yes, from the Willamette Valley.
Yeah,
too.
so the Old World ones tend to be a little bit lighter in color.
Yes.
A little bit more acidity, maybe
less
not
fruit.
not as fruity and not as full.
Yeah.
This one screams California.
Yeah, definitely. All right. The album, as I said at the top, is a classic from when we were in college. In fact, I remember going on the first day this was released, standing in line to get a copy on CD back then.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the movie.
Well, no, it subsequently became a movie. I went and did that. But that is The Joshua Tree from U2. This was released so this is the vinyl, and I have, as I said a couple of episodes ago, we're going to look at some of my box sets. So this is, of course, the reissue of the Joshua Tree, which came in this huge box, right? The ultimate Joshua Tree collection, because it came with outtakes and B-sides. It came with what then became some of Rattle and Hum. This is a live at Madison Square Garden. So some of the songs that ended up on Rattle and Hum are in here. And then one of the most beautiful things is there's both the artwork, and these are actually photo prints that were from the session of taking for the cover. And then the other one, which is really cool, this whole book of black and white photography is done by The Edge, the guitarist for U2.
It's very talented.
Beautiful black and white book. And so Joshua Tree is known by most people. It's probably U2's most popular album. It's their look at some of kind of the Southern and gospel and country roots that come through in the album. I think it's just phenomenal.
It's amazing.
It's kind of the last album of Bono's earnestness, if you will, as a songwriter, where he kind of then turns to irony and darker stuff in Achtung Baby and after this one. But I love the Joshua Tree. Great album.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Fantastic stuff.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, for the game, now this is definitely an older game. This is Attika, which is by Marcel-Andre Casasola Merkle. This came out then also, and you'll see a picture of it as U.S. Telegraph just recently from Super Meeple. And this one originally from Rio Grande Games. This is a race game where you make the board with these big multi-hex tiles. And depending upon the number of players, you have these little shrines that are around the outside. And one of the ways to win the game is to connect 2 shrines up with a continuous path of the tokens that are in your color. Now, you have this player mat where you can put your tokens, and the arrows are key. So, for example, if I play a harbor, which costs a certain number of resources, I can play the ships that go in that harbor, if I play them next to it, for free right next to the harbor. Streets, for example, can be played all together as well. And so you have this desire to chain your actions so that you can do them for cheaper. And it's of course drawing tiles, and either you place them onto your board after you see what it is, or you immediately build it. So those are your possible. You either place them on your board to build from your board on a future turn, or immediately build it when you draw it. Those are the 2 possibilities.
And sometimes you might want to group them together before you move them out. Or other times you just really want to get the piece next to another piece because it's a free play or something like that. So, yeah, it's a very cool game.
I think it is a cool game, and it plays quicker than people sometimes think. You think like, oh, I've got some time to plan. No. You've got to race to the end, and that's what's the key with Attika. Again, Marcel-Andre Casasola Merkle. This was originally from Hansum Glück and Rio Grande in Attika form, and then has come out as U.S. Telegraph from Super Meeple. Good stuff. All right.
Oh, in the new version, there's some different things that they put in the box too.
They have
they've color coordinated some of the from some of these kind of trails of lines you can go on.
Shelley likes that idea.
I like that idea. This is the older version, but so they've kind of made some of that a little bit easier for you to see.
I actually went and put little dots, so that the groupings that are all together. So the green Thebes group for red is all has a green dots on it, and so on.
Yeah, so you kind of
I blinged it up.
You blinged it up.
All right, let's go back and see what do we have.
All right,
for our
so
wine?
this is from Slander. It's from Orin Swift Cellars. This is a lovely Pinot Noir.
All right, and then there's too many of these things. Get it all the way at the bottom. It is the Joshua Tree. This is the familiar one. We have, of course, the ultimate version in the box here, but a great album. Stream it. You forget how many amazing songs are on this album. On one album, exactly. Fantastic album. And finally, Attika, or U.S. Telegraph, from Marcel-Andre Casasola Merkle. Great 2 to 4 player game. It is a game I think that is probably best with 2, because you really are competing head to head to do that race. So there you go. All right, that'll do it for this week. We hope you guys are having a good time and enjoying our videos, and that you're having a great week and taking care of yourselves. We'll see you next week. Bye.